Are you ready to move into a leadership position? Do you have interests and ambitions that you want to pursue, but feel like you don't know how to take that next step? Maybe you want to start your own coaching or consulting agency. I'm Mel, and I help educators define their career path through correct mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for your career transition. I will show you how to level up your leadership skills, share your expertise in a new way, create impact on a larger scale, and put your leadership in motion. As an educator for over 20 years, I started to feel underused and like I had more to give. I knew when the time had come for me to leave the classroom and affect change on a larger level. Now, I'm ready to help you determine where your talents and skills mesh with your passions and interests. Put your leadership in motion and move into that next phase of your educational career journey. Let me help you define your career path by having the right mindset, knowing your options, and getting prepared for that next leadership position. So power up and put your leadership in motion. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mel Vandevort. Today I have with me a guest who has been on the show before. Cheryl Collins is joining me today. I can't even talk this morning. It's already one of those days. It's been a week, let me tell you. We had a continuous day of prayer and fasting for our school district today in conjunction with our partner church. And the enemy he has tried everything to make this day not happen. So we're just going to have joy. We're going to keep going. And I'm going to say, welcome to the show, Cheryl.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mel, for having me. And we know God is always in control.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And he's already been there this morning. I can't say that I haven't shed a few tears this morning saying, okay, God, you got to take this over because he's working really hard to make this day not happen, and you're going to let it happen. So it all works out, and it's been a great day so far. So we've got a few more hours, and we're really excited about it. So Cheryl, tell us a little bit about yourself. Yes, you've been on the show before. We've had other things that we've worked on together, other projects. So just tell us a little bit about your journey through education.
Certainly. Well, I started off as a teacher back in the early 80s, and I had the privilege of teaching every grade from 4-year-olds through 8th grade in my tenure as a teacher because I worked for my mother-in-law, Marva Collins, who was a maverick of an educator, particularly in the city of Chicago. And at her school, teachers looped. So you didn't just stay in one classroom, you looped with your students for at least a 2-year period. So I love that. I learned a lot about education and good teaching, what makes great instruction from my practice and my time as a teacher in the classroom. I became an administrator and worked at a private school in the city of Chicago. I was in charge of the K through 8th grade program there. There I learned a ton about what it takes to be a true educational leader, what it takes to be a great building leader. And to supervise teachers and also to really work to develop those teachers into great teachers. Mm-hmm. And then I moved on to another private school, a Christian school in the city of Chicago, where I've been for the past 21 years. 14 of those years as the principal of the school, and the last 8 as the chief executive officer. My role now has switched more to fundraising because we provide scholarship assistance to children who really can't afford a private education, so they can really have a private education. So learned a lot about the fundraising aspect of how a private school operates, working with donors and board members, and also in charge of the managers or the directors who handle the day-to-day operations in the building. And I have 5 months more to do this job. I started a business about 3 years ago, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do with my coaching and consulting business called Cheryl Collins Coaching and Consulting. I know, not too creative, but hey, you'll remember me with that name. So I have really fallen in love with coaching. I have had the joy of having coaches coach me throughout my tenure, I guess for maybe the past 15 years now, and really developed skills that I don't believe I would have developed otherwise. Mm-hmm. So that's me, and that's my journey.
Wonderful, wonderful. I may have to talk to you a little bit about the fundraising because I am definitely new. I am new to private education, but I'm more new to 501(c)(3), and totally different character when you're raising your own funds and that kind of thing. So, um,
Definitely.
the looping also, when I was principal, we had a looping third and fourth grade, and it was really that was my first experience with the looping like that, and I see some real value in it, definitely. So.
Yeah, I definitely did. I mean, there's no way your students can tell you we didn't learn that last year. It's like, yes, we did. We learned that.
Exactly, exactly, because you know what they
Maybe,
learned last year.
maybe you forgot, but we'll review what we did.
Right, right,
And the
exactly.
growth of the students when they have the same teacher, if that teacher is excellent,
Hmm.
um, and good and grow versus an average mediocre teacher. But if they have an excellent educator, those students can really soar with 2 years with that same instructor.
Yes, yes, yeah. And thank you for reminding me about looping because, when you don't have it and you haven't seen it for a while, you kind of forget about it. And so that might be an option for our district this coming year. So, all right, Cheryl, let's jump into today's topic. So, we're talking about group coaching, and I'm just going to give you the floor and let you start. And I think I love coaching as an individual. That's where I'm going to, the same place you are. I'm headed when I leave education as a superintendent. I am ready to move into consultancy and really work with leaders on coaching them. But let's talk about group coaching.
Certainly. Well, I started group coaching as a coach last year. I developed a group for parents and one for teachers. Um, and the reason I started these groups, I was talking to educators and I was talking to parents, and I noticed a similarity in the conversations that I was having.
Hmm.
And it was a sense of burnout for the teachers, just kind of desperation and hopelessness from the parents. I don't know what else to do. Teachers saying, I don't know if I can stay in this profession. And I'm talking about teachers who've been in the classroom for a year or less, and they were feeling that way already. Uh,
Wow.
I also talked to teachers who've been in the classroom 10 or more years who were feeling that way too. Um, I talked to parents who were just saying, I don't have any help. My family lives, across the country, or I don't know who to turn to, and I don't know what to do with my kid. And so I got the idea, let me do a group for teachers and let me do a group for parents. The one thing that I discovered that coaching groups offer that individual coaching does not is a community.
Hmm.
So I ended up with, in my teacher group, I ended up with about 5 teachers who consistently came. It's virtual too, so nobody has to leave the comfort of their couch after
Right.
the day of teaching in the classroom. And same with the parents, you're in your home virtually and give the kids something to do so you can get on for an hour. But what I found was that with my teachers, they really did develop a sense of community with each other. And these were not teachers who taught in the same building or the same school. These were not teachers who necessarily even had the same levels of experience or even types of students that were analogous to them. But what they did discover was that they were all struggling with some of the same issues. And at the end of the time together, I'm just pleased to say, and this is not because of my expert coaching, it's because of the community they built. None of them wanted to quit anymore. They all were in it like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm going to come back next year for sure. I feel like I've gained a community of people I can reach out to. I feel like I've got some skills I acquired. I feel more hopeful now. And with my parents, I had parents from the South, parents from the Midwest, and one parent who was a little bit north in the country, and they all joined the virtual group. And at the end, those parents who stuck with it also said the same thing, like, it's good to know that what I'm experiencing is not just my kid.
Right, right.
And I'm not alone. And now I have some skills and ideas for how to talk to my child about various things that I didn't have before. So, I believe in the power of coaching because I know it's helped me, but I also believe in the power of group coaching to build this sense of community and to establish yourself with a group of folks who you can reach out to. The whole idea is that the coach is not the expert. The coach is
Hmm.
there to facilitate and to help people really find those answers from that lie within themselves. And I do believe that happened with my groups.
So are you seeing that the people in your group, because at my district we have one teacher per grade level, and at the elementary level. They don't really have anybody to bounce second grade ideas off of or say, hey, this is what I'm finding with this specific grade level expectation, and I don't know what to do. What are you doing in second grade? Are you finding that those teachers have that in common as well, that they are teachers of like the single teacher of that grade level in the school district?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Several of the teachers were the only one in their building teaching that grade.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also, I had the privilege of having two teachers in the group who had taught for 10 years or more. And those teachers had taught the grade level of some of these other
Right.
teachers, like, oh yeah, I remember when I taught that grade. Here's the thing I remember. Oh, I can send these materials to you. Do you want me to send them to you? I still
Mm-hmm.
have them. And so it was wonderful because they were able to sort of mentor these other teachers who were in that grade level for the first time or teaching for the first time. So what a wonderful thing that you again discover, all right, I might be the only one in this building, but I can always reach out to other teachers in other buildings to develop a community as well.
Right. And I think teachers kind of forget that, especially when they're new. They're just overwhelmed with learning.
Mm.
I'm feeling that this year with my job because I'm new to being a superintendent and also new to like the whole private school, all of the things. So I'm completely new to all of that too. So I am constantly asking people for help and what they've done and what they think. So I know that, I remember being a first year teacher and I was on fire. I didn't necessarily feel the overwhelm because I was very organized and prepared and I was hungry for professional development. But some teachers aren't necessarily quite in that space or that arena with their organization and that kind of stuff. And so they do feel that overwhelm a little bit more. And just being able to have people, like you said, and they might not even realize that they're feeling that overwhelm or that they're getting to that point of burnout. But then when they're in this group setting and they hear other people talking about those things or those limiting beliefs that they might have and those kind of things. So I think that is so valuable to be able to find a mentor in those group spaces.
Absolutely. And we invest in coaching at executive levels all around
Mm-hmm.
the country. So,
Mm-hmm.
like these executives who are making six, seven figures, and I'm not mad at them at all, but they have these executive coaches to help them continue to grow. At the schools, why aren't we doing that? Like, why are we not? I think every school leader should have a coach,
Mm-hmm.
new or seasoned.
Yes.
Because I do think the new aspiring leaders, they need to help themselves become better leaders. And one way to do that is through coaching, which offers sort of this internal view of yourself and this internal view of what you're already good at that you can use to become better at in other areas. But it also offers this view of your blind spots, which are so important to know. Because if you're not aware of them, you're just you're just really trampling all over people in your leadership
Right.
all year long. And then you wonder why, your those you lead, your teachers are not responding to you or they want to quit and go somewhere else. It's because you really are not aware of the blind spots and the hurt and the harm you're causing. But coaching can help you with that. And then if you are a really, really wanting your teachers to develop, of course, there's professional development for how to be better at teaching math and reading and social studies and how to get those test scores up and all of that. But we need to invest in our teaching staff to help them develop internally through coaching, help them to just see for themselves how to stay centered, how to stay focused, how not to be triggered, how to achieve goals for themselves so they can help their students to achieve goals too. So I do think that the whole idea of coaching itself should become an integral part of all school systems.
Yeah. And for the coach who's doing the coaching, it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
Like I said, again, I'm new. And so I'm coaching someone who's been in education for a little while, but not as long as me. I'm coaching my principal, and I am giving him great information for instruction and a place where he has some growth area. But on the flip side of that, he's been in this district for 5 years. He knows everything about it. He does know the curriculum better than me because he taught it. And he's coaching me on the flip side of that where I have gaps. So
Yeah.
you get that two-way coaching almost.
Oh,
And
always.
you're just able to refine your own coaching because you see a different perspective. You go into it, we all do. We go into it with our mental model of what it's going to look like. And then we get in there and we're like, wow, this is not exactly going the way I thought. Here's how I need to pivot because I've learned what I need to do differently.
Well, good coaches always are really being coached in the moment too. And in
Mm-hmm.
every session, like I know many times a client has said something and it's like, yeah, that's so true for me.
Yes.
And it's a revelational moment too. But I think that always being open as a coach, you are yourself receiving lots of lessons from those you're interacting with. And that's just what we should be doing as human beings on this earth, like always giving and receiving of each other lessons
Mm-hmm.
received, lessons taught, value gained.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us the structure of your coaching sessions.
Certainly. So typically, we meet once a month for 1 hour. And the sessions are actually starting this month. Well, the teacher ones, the parent ones will start next month. But the sessions meet once a month, virtually, usually in the evening time. Central time is starting around 5 or 6 p.m. And there's a topic that is coming forth in each session. So the participants are surveyed ahead of time, so I know exactly what are some of the things they want to discuss or work on in these sessions. And so usually there's always common themes emerging. Last year, for example, classroom management was a big theme that
Mm-hmm.
emerged. And almost everybody said, I need help with better classroom management. One of the other things that are topics that emerged for us to discuss was around how to deal with an irate parent or parents who are just not happy. Um, so I typically prepare, there's a little bit of teaching in the
Mm-hmm.
coaching session. So I'll start it off because I am a former teacher with a presentation on the topic, some stats or statistics around it, some tools and techniques. And then that only happens for usually the first 15 minutes or so. And then the next half an hour or 45 minutes, we're focused on tell me what's going on in your classroom. Let's talk about it. And hearing from each participant. And then I really, before I know it, I'm pretty much saying very little because they are talking back and forth and helping each other and asking questions and giving suggestions and advice. And then we usually spend the last 10 minutes actually coming up with our next steps. What will you do with the material you've gained today to take it into an action step into your classroom?
Mm-hmm.
And we share that out. So that's our way of holding each other accountable for the next time we meet. We start with that. How did it go? Um, Everyone in the group has the opportunity to reach out to anybody during between the next time we meet, as well as to me. So I often get a text message or a question. Hey, can I talk to you for like 10 minutes? Hey, I want to share something great that happened today in my classroom based on what we talked about in the session. And so that's how it goes. It's on occasion, I'll give homework because, hey, I'm a teacher. What can I say?
Exactly.
They might have homework to do or something to actually practice, like practice the skill and see how it goes and come back prepared to tell the group, how did this work? Did it not work? And so there might be a little bit of homework given and a little bit of follow up in between the month with the participants to see how they're doing with the tool or the suggestion that was posed to them.
Yeah, it's kind of like the see it, name it, do it model. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. And I'm not opposed to homework. I give my people homework all the time on my
Yeah.
podcast. So you're not leaving an Empowered Educator podcast episode without some kind of action step
Yeah,
to take forth and complete. So
absolutely. Otherwise, it was just a wonderful conversation and nothing really happened.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, right. You're just listening to a show. If there's nothing
Yeah,
practical or applicable that you're taking away from it. So it's just me
absolutely.
talking on the other end.
Yes,
So,
yes. And one other thing I'm going to say about the parent one, coaching sessions run pretty much the same. Those are just delightful because parents will often start on one topic, but we might end even on a whole nother topic because of something that's brought forth. So I
mhm,
usually allow more opportunities for the parents to really say, what's on your mind? And we might start with the topic. We had a session last year on like how to talk to your kids about sex. And, so many parents were like, yeah, I haven't had that talk. And so, just really starting there. And then we moved into exploration of why we don't have these talks and,
mhm,
just developing and hearing the levels of discomfort around the topic based on maybe things that had happened to them or had not happened to them or just ignorance of information. And so sometimes, coaching is not counseling, and people need to be very aware of that. And so
mhm.
sometimes it's
Right,
important to know that even when those discussions are coming out, because in one session I stayed on longer with one client who then needed to be connected to a counselor
right,
because of some past traumas that she was experiencing. So beware of that as a school leader, that if you do start, and I encourage people, to I'd be happy to work with anyone who's interested in starting these types of groups, but also just to just start because really what
right.
you're building is a community, and parents and teachers need these communities that are not all about professional development for teachers and not always about a workshop for a parent.
Mhm, right. So we are running short on time. So give us one last power surge statement or word of wisdom that you can give to our new and aspiring leaders.
Persevere. That's my word. Like,
Yes.
as a leader, you'll have many days where you want to stop and quit. Persevere, keep coming back day after day. It gets better. You get better. The school gets better.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And even when there is a moment where you feel like it is over with and your job is on the line, and just know that this too shall pass. And tomorrow people won't even remember what happened, or it may take a week or two, but you're going to get past that and it's going to be a new day.
Most important thing is don't quit. Those kids need you as a
Mm-hmm.
leader. The children need you. Your staff needs you. Don't quit.
And you are not in that position by accident. So
Absolutely.
you are in that position by design. So, Cheryl, this has been a great conversation. So tell my audience how they can connect with you.
You can certainly find me through my website, which is CherylWCollins.com. Very easy to remember, CherylWCollins.com. You can also reach out to me by email. You can find me on Substack. I'm also on there. I have a free newsletter called Thrive Tribe. And if you read it, it's for leaders. It's learning how to thrive as a leader, whichever position you might find yourself in. My email, I think, will be in the show notes, which is a long one, but Cheryl W. Collins coaching.com at gmail.com. So you can reach me there too.
And I'll have those links in the show notes. So they won't have any trouble finding you. I just like to have you verbalize it to everybody
Thank you.
so they know your preferred method of contact. So Cheryl, thank you so much for joining me today. I love this conversation, and it's given me a little bit of inspiration going forward in my own coaching. So
Well, thank you for having me, Dr. Mel. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
you're welcome. And for the rest of you, thank you for joining us today. And I will see you back here next time. Bye bye.